Hi folks! So for regular watchers of my vlog, you guys already know that I'm into making things. I'm very much of a DIY guy. I'm wearing actually a t-shirt of a fellow DIYer whose name is Shane Spiel. So let me talk about my latest DIY projects and I'll be back in a sec. More cowbell. More cowbell. More cowbell. Most cowbell. So my latest thing that I've been doing is I've been making another building on my girlfriend Lisa's property. It's, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not really sure. It was supposed to be a wine bar, but I don't know if we're going to entertain there or what's going to happen. I have plans that I have done and I'll show them to you. I have a whole bunch of pictures of the construction process. The thing is not quite done yet. It probably won't be done until the series is over, because this is episode 18. There will only be 2 after this one. I bought a couple DIY instrument kits. I bought a guitar kit from Stu Mac. I bought a lap steel guitar kit from this guy, Shane Spiel. And I have another, I made a mandolin from another kit that I got on eBay. So this is probably the biggest or largest project that I've done. I started making plans 2 years ago when I was building the storage studio. I laid down a foundation last year, and this year I put some beams on to see how the floor would go. I used fast dry cement and it dried in the cement mixer. I couldn't figure it out at first how to get it out, but a friend showed me that tapping on it after it was dry made it all come out. Once I got the floor down, I put up some beams just to see how the roof line would go. Every other roof on this property has a different look. From the New England peaked roof of the first building I did to the standard low-rise shed from Home Depot to the reverse hip roof that I used on the 2 carports to the regular hip roof that I used on the gazebo. This one I decided to just make a straight flat roof that would have a 6-to-1 rise. I took 1 day to do the foundation, 1 day to build the floor, 1 day to put up the back wall and the 2 sides, 1 day to build the frame for the front, and 1 day to frame the roof and put the sheathing on it. After that last day, I was really tired. The next thing we'll do is probably put up the siding. After that, we'll install the skylight, which is going to go where you see that blue rectangle. Then we will do the trim. We will paint the trim and let it dry while we put in the windows and the door. And then we will do the roof. And that's pretty much it. The outside will be done except for painting. Here's a video I did with my drone. You can see the property. It's quite beautiful there. There's lots of greenery. And of course I haven't really flown the drone that much, so I'm still learning how to drive it, how to steer the camera. Let's tilt that camera down so we can see the things on the ground. There it is. That's the picture of the roof from above. We're going to do a deck at some point off the front of the structure, although we don't know how big that will be. having some debates about whether it should be big enough to have a party there, or it's only a couple feet off the ground, so it's not a high deck. There's the pond there in the back, right next to a beautiful pond. And there's the bunch of piles of wood. We have all kinds of wood there. Two by fours, 2x6s, 2x8s, 2x10s. We have another pile of siding. We have a pile of OSB, which stands for Oriented Strand Board, and also the smart siding, which we're putting on, the waterproof, insect-proof stuff that will last a long time. We're going to do shingles on the roof because they last longer, and it's got enough of a angle that the snow and water won't get under those shingles. There's the main house right there. There's the bus. You saw my Airstream there for a second, and I think my car was up there too. These are all the trees. There's one of these trees is going to have to come down because it's looks like it's going to entangle the power line. But I've always liked to make things. This is one of the things that about my childhood. I made my own toys. I made my own instruments. I made a thing called the Albitron when we were making an Imaginos that was based on something I saw Glenn Branca make. And like I say, I've modified my guitars a lot. I still am doing that. I'm modifying a couple guitars to be used in Nashville tuning full time. And as I mentioned before, I have the Shane Spiel lap steel guitar, which I'm interested to see how I can make that sound and how that's going to work. I have another nice production airline lap steel, which is quite nice, but I want to see if I can make something even more outrageous than that. So I am a fairly obsessive person, not really that compulsive. I'm working on not being compulsive, at least being more purposeful in my actions. I'm not anal retentive. I like things a little neat, but not that much. I like noisy music, like Shane Spiel makes. And I also like perfect sounding things, like the Beach Boys harmonies. So I'm kind of a mixed bag of a guy. Anyway, I don't know how many more of these buildings I'll be making. I think that this might be the last one, because we're running out of space, actually, especially if I put the deck on it as big as I want it. So, but as you can see, it's pretty cool. There's some nifty things on the property. It's a very great property and lots of great wildlife there, all kinds of wildlife. So now you can see what I'm doing here is I'm dusting off, I'm blowing the sawdust off the work surface that we have because it was piled up there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my episode this week, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell if you want to know whenever I upload a new video, and also leave comments. So we'll see you next week. Bye.